I'm telling jokes all the time, and my friends get annoyed by this. Like, I don't have normal friends anymore. I only have comedian friends who understand the situation. Like, normal friends will be like, can you stop telling jokes? It's a funeral. People hate hanging out with comedians. If something happens, if they trip and fall down, break their leg, their bone is hanging out, but they will look at me like, please don't tell this in the stage. Like, like, I'm not going to do that. It's not how it works. But I probably would lah. Hi, my name is Kavin Jay, and I am a stand-up comedian and a professional Tinder explorer. No, I'm married. Guys, cut. My parents, for them, the career in the arts doesn't make sense. Like, I will never make money. I'll starve. Even now that I'm a full-time stand-up comedian, recently, my dad wanted to buy a car, and both my parents are retired. So they call me and they say, hey, can you be the guarantor? And I was like, no, I don't think that's going to work out because it's hard for me to give a payslip. And they're like, no, you can give payslip, no worry. I was like, no, I don't have a payslip. It doesn't work like that. And they're like, no, get Harith Iskandar to give you a payslip. I'm like, no, it doesn't. He's not my boss, right? It doesn't work like that. Yeah, so that argument happened for 2 hours, and how, my life choices. Yeah, but they don't quite understand that this can be a career. They still think I do this as a hobby. I travel around the world doing comedy now. I went to Europe and I found out I'm not that big. I went to America, I found out I'm a medium. I didn't know that I was getting a Netflix special. Like, I knew Harith was getting his. Right? He knew 6 months before the shoot. Faz from Singapore also knew 6 months. And they're good friends of mine, so I knew they were getting one. Although it was kept hush-hush, but everybody knew. So I had booked a trip to Edinburgh to do the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And I came back just in time for Harith's shoot. I came early to help him out with the stuff. And I looked at him and said, hey, good luck for the show. And he turned to me and said, hey, good luck to you too. And I'm like, good luck for what? It's your show. And he's like, no, I forgot to tell you, you're opening. And this was 10 minutes before the curtain goes up. He told everybody, like everybody knew. The cameraman knew, the light fella knew, the sound guy knew, the fella was sweeping the floor. He knew that I was opening, but I didn't know. So I had to go on with my torn jeans and my t-shirt, and I told jokes. And it worked well. And Netflix people came up to me and said, hey, can you come down to Singapore next week to have a meeting? And I said, sure, why not? So I went down to Singapore and they sat me down. They said, hey, we need a third special, so we would like to offer you a special. That's how it happened. That's basically, I had 1 month to prepare. I was in every open mic from that day onwards. I went to every open mic. I tested out my material and it came out on TV and it was great. I think, right? It was good, right? I think comedy is unrepresented to a point. Okay, there's English stand-up comedy and there's Malay stand-up comedy, right? Malay stand-up comedy is bigger, wider net in Malaysia. I think it's represented well, but its stand-up, on the other hand, is not represented well. Stand-up is something that the mass audience has not understood yet. We are not just putting on makeup, we're not just putting on clothes, we're not putting on props to make you laugh. We are actually talking about situations that really happen, which is difficult for people to understand. They're like, yeah, but you're telling us stories about things that happen. And this was an actual tweet that I got when I was in Maharaja Lawak, which was, ini bukan jenaka, ini bercerita. Which you look at it and you go like, yeah, that is what we do in so many ways. That's stand-up comedy. But people don't understand that stand-up comedy is a certain way. In the eyes of the world, however, we come unrepresented because I think a lot of people don't look at the bigger picture. A lot of people look at the success that you get in-house, in your own country. It's very difficult for us to be successful in what we want to be. Like, for instance, some of the biggest bands that I know in Malaysia have day jobs. Like, that's weird. Like, can you imagine Foo Fighters? Dave Grohl is actually an accountant. No, he's an artist, he's a star, he's a rock star, right? But in Malaysia, this is a reality. They have to get a day job to sub-finance their passion, right? So it's very difficult for us to break through that market, especially when we want to do things on our own. Malaysian stand-up comedy scene, I think it's okay so far because we are close-knit and everybody kind of works with each other and we kind of set the precedents for everything.
He is Malaysia's grumpiest comedian and my good friend, ladies and gentlemen. Please show your love for the one and only Mr. Kavin Jay.
there are so many comedians coming up now, and a lot of them are scary good. Brian Tan, Kiran Baladevan, Prakash Daniel, Gajan, Hana Aslan. These comedians, I think, by far the most talented that we have in the pool. And these guys can easily become superstars on their own right. There's so much talent in this pool. It's scary. These 5 people I named, I know for a fact they're going to be famous soon. But there's so many more that you have to look up for. Go to open mics. There's one called One Mic Stand. It happens every Tuesday at General Space in BJ. Go for that one. I started that show 6 years ago. It's still running now, but the guys are running it themselves. So go watch an open mic. Don't just go to major comedy shows. Go watch an open mic. See the next comedy superstar.